their closest challengers come the end of the season. Craig, it's the first time you've been on since your holiday. And Arsenal, of course, lost Saka until March after that operation.
I wasn't aware it was a holiday.
I
don't lying coughing and spluttering. Sorry, my idea.
Sorry, I meant a holiday for me.
Yeah. Holiday for the viewers.
It's getting harder, isn't it, to put an argument as to why Arsenal are going to catch Liverpool?
Yes. Yeah. And I had Arsenal at the start of the season to win the league. Obviously, none of us sort of foresaw Man City falling away as they have thus far, and in the manner in which they have. I think at the moment it's difficult to paint a picture for. I think they are the second best team in the league. I mean, obviously Nottingham Forest are up there. It's an amazing story. I think they are the second strongest team at the moment, but they don't have the ability to share it around like Liverpool. In the goals, and we saw it again for those that watched the Ipswich game. Yep. You know, it was a struggle for long periods. It wasn't a great game. I mean, they dominated it. Don't get me wrong, but they don't look as if, all right, they hammered Palace, but they don't look as if they're going to do it on a regular basis. And of course, now with Saka out, and I think he's had surgery on the hamstring, so it's going to be quite some time. It's difficult to put up an argument how Arsenal are going to be able to put a 10 or 12 game winning streak together, which they're probably going to have to do to even get a sniff of catching this Liverpool team.
Nedum, Robert made the point yesterday, but Liverpool haven't had a blip yet. What happens when they have a blip and open that door maybe for Arsenal to close that points gap at the top of the table?
Well, to be honest, you could make the case that Liverpool's blip was when they lost at home to Nottingham Forest after that international break, and we thought, oh, I wonder what slot's going to be like now, and from then they seem to have kicked on. So I think, yes, they could be a blip, and they probably will be a blip somewhere down the road, maybe with the amount of games that they're playing, you know, them being in the semi-finals of the League Cup, them being in the FA Cup, them being in the Champions League. Maybe some rotations will happen and it'll get a little bit tougher. But the fact is, you still need Arsenal to be able to win their games just to be able to catch up. And from there, can they then maintain? And I think as I look at this Liverpool side now, like, the thing that always, like, I need to think about from a perspective standpoint is Liverpool have more players in their team who've got experience of winning a Premier League title compared to that Arsenal side. Arsenal have 2 or 3 of them who've done it before. With Liverpool, they've got players who've had 90 plus points. They've got a team which got to 99 points, I think it was, in winning a league title a few years ago. So they know what the second half of the season needs to look like to be successful. You know, they'll be driven to do that. And if it comes down to a head-to-head with Arsenal, Arsenal have to go and travel to Anfield to play against Liverpool to try and get points there. And if you think that game is going to be potentially deciding the title, who would you be backing at this moment in time? Especially with the likes of, say, with Saka being out, for example, for Arsenal. Because for me, Saka for Arsenal was as important as Salah is for Liverpool. So for them to lose them for that long, I think that's a huge blow. But Liverpool, maybe they will have a blip, but I just feel that the blip that they have will be nowhere near as bad as the blips that some of the teams behind them have had, because they're a class apart as it stands now. And I can only see them sort of continuing very close to this pace going forward. And before you know it, some of these other teams just won't be able to keep up.
We're still waiting, of course, for Nottingham Forest to have a blip. And you think away, Goodison, busy Christmas period.
Is one of my Nottingham Forest...
Because you used to live in Nottingham, so you got a lot of contacts there.
Yeah, one of my buddies was texting me earlier about the only team that can stop this Liverpool team is, of course, Forest, who beat them. But I think it's down to,
Craig and his buddies in the WhatsApp group, chatting away.
It's down to
friends.
Strange that.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I mean, is it going to last? I don't think so.
What, you friends?
No. It's about organisation. It's about being difficult to beat. It's about a front man in form. It's about Gibbs White, who can make things happen. They've got some good wide players with some pace when they need it, in Elanga and Hudson-Odoi. And they've got a back 4 that, guess what, want to head it away. They want to defend. 2 big, strong centre-backs who want to roll their sleeves up. And for Nuno Espirito Santo, it's just been amazing. I mean, I don't think they would ever have been near this position with Steve Cooper in charge. I think he was the perfect manager to bring them up from the Championship. He understood that Championship and how to get results. But doing that at that level and doing it in the Premier League is a completely different kettle of fish. The current Forest manager's got plenty of experience in that, and it's been an incredible story. I think first time in 37 or 8 years they've been in this position. If they could somehow hang on to a top 4, it would be amazing, but I think that would be a stretch.
It really is a fairy tale for Forest fans at the moment, Nedum.
Yeah, it certainly is. I think when you talk about Cooper, the previous manager, I think they won 2 games away from home in the 18 months that he was in charge. And now you've seen Forest being able to take their game anywhere at this point in the season. They have a style of play, as Craig says, which is robust. You know, they've got the back line that are desperate to defend. You're looking at Milenkovic, Murillo, you're looking at Aina. Sometimes, the left side changes. But those are really, really good defenders who want to put that work in. And the same just in the midfield ahead of them. But what I see is some teams, like when they start to play against Forest almost trick you into thinking you're in control, you're in the ascendancy. And before you know it, you're seeing Gibbs White, you're seeing the likes of Alanga, you're seeing players just Hudson-Odoi bombing down the sides, whilst also being occupied by Chris Wood. This is the best football Chris Wood's ever played at an age where most people are probably prepared to write him off. I think Nuno deserves a ton of credit as their coach in terms of finding them sort of their ability to play to their potential, finding a style that suits this collective. And in some ways, it reminds me of a previous Nuno team in Wolves, who were a very dangerous side in this manner. You'd never really see them having maybe 60% possession in the game. But you'd always find that they're tough to score against. And if you're 1-0 down to them, do you roll the dice or do you get caught on the break? I think it's been very, very impressive to see because Forest, previously they're the type of team where at the start of the season, most people think, well, maybe they'll stay up, maybe they won't. But now, what is it? They're 3 points away from the 40-point mark. So they can just take it easy, I guess. But it's been very, very impressive. I don't believe it will last, but I still have a feeling that they'll finish in Europe because as it stands, as you look at that league table, where are the teams that have been there before? Where are Man United? Where are Spurs? They're a long way behind Forest right now. So as it stands, I think Forest will probably be in a good position to maybe take some of those other European spots that are outside the Champions League places.
3 more games through in the Premier League tomorrow. We'll, of course, be reflecting them on the show. Includes Manchester United against Newcastle. Good things go from bad to worse.